Well, how about that? Another Blue Monday flagship show, another 4-1 away weekend win to talk about. It was Swansea 1, Ipswich Town 4. Welcome to Blue Monday and Ipswich Town podcast. Dave, we've done a lot of EFL seasons here, mate. 3-game week, 7 points. Take that any year, any season, any opponent. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ben. Evening, Joe, everyone. Yeah, should be more than happy with that. It's just a shame. It should have been 9, shouldn't it? But hey, we can't be picky. 2-4-1, 2 consecutive 4-1 away wins. I think Stat put something in the chat. I did ask him this yesterday. I think it's the first time since 1960, 61, or maybe 61, 62, but a long time anyway. And a good professional job yesterday.
Joe, we're going to be drawing many similarities, do you think, in the analysis between this win and the QPR win, given the scorelines?
I guess there will be similarities, and it was more that we probably took our chances a little bit better against QPR last week, where we were much more dominant, I thought, yesterday. But then, even though we were dominant, it still takes a big save at 2-1 to keep us on track. So there's always, and as we know, we've covered this division for many years. You've covered it even more than us, Ben. You don't just get many of these just routine games where you just shut the opponent down, you just win 2-0, you go home the next day. The sort of thing that Liverpool were able to do to everyone in the Premier League last year, get that second goal and just sit on it. That doesn't tend to happen in this league. So you've got to score when you're on top and not concede when you're not. And we've managed to find a way to do that over the last 2 away games.
Yeah, 100%. And welcome everybody.
In the middle of the two.
Yeah, welcome everybody to Blue Monday and Ipswich Town podcast. Get your views down there in the live chat. We'll stick as many up on screen as we can throughout the show. We are talking Swansea 1, Ipswich Town 4. If you're here live and in the flesh on YouTube, hit like, subscribe, etc., all of that nonsense. And if you're listening after the fact on audio, hello, welcome to the international break. Enjoy your dog walk, hang in there on the treadmill, whatever it is you are doing. Slow news week as well. Just the 3 championship jobs up for grabs, and one not very far from Ipswich as well, rather predictably. But let's get into a trip to Swansea, and we build it as the return of Cameron Burgess to the show. And yeah, more for him later in the worst possible way, sadly, for a very popular player. Dave, here is your Ipswich Town 11, I believe. 6 changes. Christian Walton in goal. Furlong and Davis, fullbacks. O'Shea and Greaves, centre-backs. Taylor, Matasiwa in the midfield, with McAteer and Clark wide. Nunez in the 10. Off George Hurst, Dave, your thoughts?
Where to start with that? Obviously, no surprise to see Davis back. Davis fit. Davis is fit. Davis always plays, and I think had he played the other night, I think we probably would have won with the possession we had and stuff. But moving on from there,
you're not going to move on from that.
No, I can't let it go. Ugh, should have been 9 points. Greaves in for Kipre. Maybe no great surprise. We all know if he can. Prefers that right foot, left foot combination. Just gives you much better balance. That shouldn't be any slight on Kipre.
But Kipre versus Vipotnik, Dave, we've seen him do that before as well, haven't we?
Well, there again, and Vipotnik, as it turns out, was very, very, very hardly heard him mention yesterday. So you got that one right, didn't he? Taylor back in, away. No surprise really. He was superb against QPR. No surprise he was back alongside Matasiwa, and more of that later. But obviously, very much the correct decision there. McAteer in for Wally Egley. Well, again, he's 19. He's getting up to he's just had 2 games, getting up to the rigors of the championship. So again, no great surprise there. I think everyone liked to see Nunez there in the 10. He was superb there against QPR. Great to see him back there. Clark for Philogene away. Philogene hasn't been really half so effective as he has at home. So again, you want to give Clark a start, and again, very much the right decision as it turns out there. So yeah, another 6 changes, but again, it just shows the depth of squad, doesn't it?
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, and I think Kieran McKenna's in one of these tough positions that whatever he does, he makes all these changes because he thinks it's the right thing to do. And if we win, he's made the right decision. And if he loses, he's going to get crucified. And we didn't make many changes for the Watford game. But I think you can sort of see really through the spine of the team what you expect to be in there. Obviously, the goalie's the goalie. That's going to be a tough decision to make. The other side of the international break, Furlong is the right back. Davis is the left back. O'Shea's going to play centre back. And then it's Greaves or Kipre. Matt C was going to play in front of them, and at the moment, I think Taylor's got the shirt next to them. But he probably needs to come out to give just a game on the other side. Nunes again in that 10 looks like he really knitted us together well there. And if you played 10 for 2 games, you got 8 goals in those, then probably you're doing right. And then Clark or Philogene, it's toss a coin on the left hand side with Hurst up front. So it is. Like I say, I think the team is nearly there, and you've probably got maybe 15 or 16 players that are going to start 95% of the games between them, and you're going to have a few others nipping in and out for a game here or two, and you sort of maybe Ashley Young's, Ben Johnson's, AZÓN, so to speak, so much in that. It's really just going to be you know who your main starters are, and then there's just going to be some tweaks around those.
Bench for Town: Egley, Kipre, Young, Button, Akpom, Johnson, Kayust, Philogene, AZÓN. More from him later. Joe, here is the Swans 11. Vigouroux in goal. Back 3 is Cabango. The returning Cam Burgess, Samuel Smith, Timon and Key are the wing backs. Galbraith, who I expect Dave likes, and Franco in central midfield. Inusa, Riddell, and Vipotnik up top. It's not vintage at Swansea since the parachute payments have run out. There's no Joe Rodon, Dan James, insert another. Even
Leon Britton.
I was going to say Joe Allen came back, didn't need to sit in midfield there. I remember McBurney was there. Your thoughts on what looks like a bit of a middling Championship 11 there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they have spent a decent chunk of money over the last
a
couple of windows, over there. So I think you'd probably be expecting them to be a little bit better than what they are. They did look sort of down on luck, down on confidence, or down on anything really. And I don't think it's going to be too long before there's going to be another Championship manager vacancy coming from that side. If you listen to sort of the noise of the Swansea fans coming out of that one yesterday, they're not doing well, and I don't think the manager's seen as the answer there. And I guess they sort of probably thought they had maybe some higher expectations. So I think that there's going to be a problem for a lot of Championship clubs this year. Swansea falling very much in this category, that it's so tight between 2nd and 18th. It's, do you make a change of your manager to see if you can just catch a bit of lightning in the bottle, and then you can make the playoffs? So, where I think, like, even you look at someone like West Brom, there you've got Ryan Mason there, and he's not going to take him down, but he's probably not going to get him in the top 6. And you think, well, actually, could someone come in and give them enough to get in there? And I think there's going to be a lot of clubs in that position. I think Swansea are probably one of them, thinking, actually, can we make a change here and push us up, because we've probably got a better squad than Charlton or Preston or Millwall, or even the teams that are sort of pushing up in the top half at the moment.
Problem as well, Dave, for the likes of Swansea and teams down there, is as much as many of our patrons would like it to stay the same, Sheffield United and Norwich, one or both of them, are not going to be as low as they are now at some point. And if you get overtaken by 2 teams and you're in 18th, then you know where you're looking, don't you?
Yeah, it didn't look good. And Joe's right. I saw a bit of that fans' reaction after the game online, and not happy with Shear, which is a shame, because I heard him speak, and he speaks well. He comes across as a decent sort of guy, but that obviously haven't got the results they were hoping for. And
Dave, it's often the way when a staffer takes the main job, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Also, is it a degree of that? They've been the top probably side in Wales now for the past, Cardiff had a spell, to be fair, in the Prem, didn't they? But probably for the last 10 seasons or not. Probably now being usurped by Wrexham. Cardiff are having a good run in League One. So maybe a bit of pressure coming from there as well. But overall, I thought we played very well. But they didn't look great, I didn't think.
How did we start, Dave?
Yeah, started really well. I thought on the front foot from the off, knocking the ball around. Everyone looked really comfortable. Greaves coming in on that left side, gave you a nice balance, that whole Greaves-Davis combo there. it just looked really, really comfortable without really creating. Well, I don't know, say too much. McAteer perhaps got McAteer starting. I thought he started okay. Couple of loose passes, but a couple of times he got wide, got to the line. Maybe you call it lack of vision. I don't know if it was a lack of vision, but perhaps, didn't stand the ball up, made the wrong decision with the ball across. One ball he put across, someone should have gambled on the near post, but didn't. And all looked pretty good. Everyone looked really comfortable and really, really bossed the game. Pressing was great. Passing was sharp. Taylor was here, there, and everywhere. Mattersey was doing what Mattersey does. And I thought we looked really good.
Very encouraging at the end of a block of 6 games, Dave.
No, it is, and probably it's so we'll get to it. Probably a surprise that that he took half an hour or more to get the first goal.
Joe?
Yeah, and sort of to go on, if we go on to the goal comes from how we played in that first half hour, where we just totally smothered them in there. They couldn't get the ball out of their half, could they? It was like we had
second ball.
It's like we had 13 players on. I think someone put in the comments earlier, so it was 13 versus 11 on there, and they just could not get. Every time they got out, they half got out, and then for the goal, Jack Clark gets tackled, and they sort of go to break away, and then Darrow Shea coming in from the sort of left, halfway inside their half, wins the ball back off him and gives him to Clark, and that's sort of illustrative of how we were in that first half. Such high lines, such aggressive defending, and just did not allow them a second to breathe. And then he gives the ball to Clark. He does really well, steps across his man, and it's either foul me or I'm going to shoot. And I can't remember who it was, but they'd had at this point, I think
it was Franco.
Franco, who'd already had a yellow card. They had 4 yellow cards at this point.
In real quick succession, wasn't it?
Yeah, and a ref was on top of that.
And it was very.
Well, that's good.
I think that's sometimes the ref we need, where they just kind of kick us and foul us cynically because we were just so on top, similar to what Watford did the other day. But the ref didn't really give anything, and I said this is. It almost felt like one of those Premier League games for us last year, where we were on the other side of it, and all of a sudden you just
we're the bad guys now, Joe. Yeah,
you just make one foul just to try and relieve the pressure, and all of a sudden straight away yellow card. That's our first foul we've made, and it was cynical, and it was probably a yellow letter of the law, but it was, and that's what was happening to them. And then, like I say, Jack Clark cuts across Franco, who'd already been booked, and just uses the sort of defender to bend it round and just puts it right in that bottom corner. Some real pace on the shot as well, wasn't it? It wasn't just sort of like pushed into that bottom corner, really sort of whipped into that and sort of lifts the goal net up. Keeper's got no chance of getting across to it. And it's just a really, really good finish and a really good goal. And for a player who's playing with great confidence at the moment.
Well, that's great to hear, Joe. And Dave, we were talking about comparisons with last week. And I suppose there was a bit of a sense last week. Was it a bit of bullying? Was it a bit of parachute power? But if that goal came from, it was an individual goal scored by a very expensive player who's been a top championship name before. But if the pattern is it came from good pressing and there was a period of dominance, then and it's a Jack Clark special, isn't it, Joe?
It's Jack Clark. I mean, how many goals did he score season before last at Sunderland like that? Carlton, he scored loads of goals.
10
he scored a goal for us,
probably.
He scored a goal like that for us at Coventry last season in the Cup, didn't it? It's just a great finish. But Joe was right. I think that Franco, had he not been booked, just buys the foul. There, takes him out 25 yards out, and and basically tries to play on the free, get away with a free kick or something. But it's an absolute brilliant finish. And no more than we deserved. We absolutely bossed that first half, and it was just a shame that we should have been more comfortable. Should have been 2 or 3 probably.
Dave, quickly, mate, is that a championship goal? You can't score that goal in the Premier League, can you?
Probably not.
No,
probably not. You don't win the ball back, and you probably don't win the ball back first of all. You don't win it back. But it's a great goal, and it's we were that dominant, much more dominant. Joe would agree, much more dominant. I know QPR equalised we scored early last week. They equalised in 2021, and then had a period of 5-10 minutes when it could have been 2 or 3.
Would you like to guess Swansea's attacking XG for the first half, Dave?
Oh, mate, it was bugger all, nothing. Surely,
0.03.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Which, to be fair, was the same XG as Jack Clark's goal because it was miles out, wasn't it?
Okay,
but my point being, they created nothing. Yeah.
No, we were really dominant, and there's a sort of game where it's still that you're only 1-0 up. Well, we'll get to it. You're only 1-0 up at half time, and you think, this should be 2 or 3 and probably out of sight. It wasn't, and we'll get to the start of the second half.
Do you want to rumble into the second half for Joe? You agree, disagree with anything Dave said, Joe?
No, yeah. As he said, really, we just were totally dominant from start to finish, and that energy. This is probably what Kieran McKenna wants to see from a rotated team, and I'm sure we'll come on to it later.
Great away game, Wales 3-game week, 6-game blocks. And this is music to my ears, I tell you.
And really, I know we drew against Watford, and this was covered by Mikey and Seb in the post-match show. But ultimately, we did enough to win that game. We just didn't have that little bit of luck you needed to get it over the line. And really, this should have been a 9-point week, and a 9-point week where we've sort of
Deflection FC would have got 9 points this week, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and sometimes you need to make sure you get your actions in, don't you?
So while I think about it, I won't mention it anymore. Just getting back to the Watford game, you mentioned Galbraith.
Oh, Joe mentioned it, so it's fine.
No, tell you what I did like, Looser.
Oh, mate, did you see his assist this past round as well?
Oh, my word.
Yeah, I do get Dave. I thought you'd have been on the loser train about... Oh, sorry, that sounded really rude. Dave on the loser train.
I've been on that for like forever.
Right, Dave, I'm going to let Joe do the Swansea goal, so you get to do an Ipswich goal in a minute. So Franco's going to equalise, annoyingly, 5 minutes after half-time, Joe. Oh, sorry, MPR. Wow, look at that. $19.99 on the super sticker. Thank you so much. Content here on YouTube will always be free, but if you do want to contribute like NPR has, that is very, very kind. $10 per Cameron Burgess own goal that we're about to talk about. But let's give Swansea a goal in the right net first, JF.
Yeah, it was decent build-up between them, and they were sort of pushing at this stage. They sort of come out, and it's almost like one of those ones where we've got to give it a go, sort of 5-10 minutes, see if we get anything. And they were probably for the first time having a little bit of possession in our third, moving it around, and it just sort of breaks as it Tynan, who gets away on the left and puts the ball in, and I can't remember the guy who goes to have a shot and just...
It's a Noosa.
Noosa just completely air kicks it. And I think because of that, Jack Taylor sort of drifted off Franco because I think he's drifting towards Noosa to sort of see where the ball's going. Because of that, he's drifted off Franco.
Noosa doesn't touch it. Tyman's got the assist here, yeah.
Yeah, and then Franco, it's a really neat finish, but it's one of those ones. Similar to who we were just speaking about, Noosa's goal on Tuesday night, where it just sat to him in such a nice position. The ball's ended up there where I wouldn't say it shouldn't end up there. I think sometimes you just got to give a little bit of credit to the opposition. But they had a little bit of luck with the air kick that it ended up there. And he takes the goal really well. Christian Walton can do nothing about it. And all of a sudden you think, bloody hell, like we've played so well. And it's the first sort of sniff of goal and it's in the back of the net. And it's probably a criticism we've had of Ipswich this season and even last season, how many teams, their first shot just seemed to go in the goal and how it's really, really difficult to play when that's happening to you.
Yeah, I suppose all I will say, Dave, we're very, very deep. So I'm just literally watching it back now. We're very, very deep, and it comes through kind of the last line and the bodies in front. But it is right in the corner. I don't think what was going to save it anyway.
It's a good ball in low. It's one of those ones, if it gets cut out of the near post, you'd hope that it gets cut out of the near post. It's a good ball in. And look,
we love that ball in the double promotion run, didn't we?
Well, someone just said in the chat, it's a Chaplin-esque goal. Alex, absolutely spot on. Absolutely right. Great finish. Walton's got absolutely no chance. Really good technique, good finish. But as Joe said, really, we've seen this movie play out before, haven't we? Really, really. So disappointing. However, didn't really make too much difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, keep on rolling, Dave.
Well, I think they do have a bit of play after this. I think Franco gets in a good position and pulls 1-1. What we should say actually, before they score, McAteer has a really good chance from I think it's a corner which the keeper's kind of fists away, and I think O'Shea might head it back, and McAteer's a couple of yards out. Johnny tries to hook it in, but hooks it over. This is before they score, so he probably should have scored there. And then again, I think we win for this. I'm trying to think because obviously there's 2 on goals here. This is the one where I think the ball's played. This is really good play actually. The balls. I think Clark wins it actually. Clark wins it in the centre of the park. Gets it to Nunes, who sort of like pokes it to Hurst. This is good centre forward play from Hurst. This is what you want to see. Gets the ball under, absolutely swivels, almost a reverse pass, superbly left foot weighted pass for Davis, who's obviously charging down the left. And he gets into the box and you think, hit it hard and low. And it's going well, but it is a shot, Joe, and it definitely is a shot. I'm sorry, it is.
I haven't looked back to see whether Clark was onside or not.
Well, there's a point, because I think had there not been the intervention by Burgess, I think it falls to Clark. However, you might be right. He might be offside, but yeah, he's pulling that wide, and Burgess.
No, Clark looks onside.
Just on okay,
or level with this.
Burgess does.
Yeah.
Burgess does what Burgess does. We've seen him do that, last few years for Town. Puts his body on the line. Unfortunately, slides in and totally deflects it past the keeper, and he's absolutely got no chance, has he? So good to bounce back, get the second goal so early after conceding.
You see on the highlights, Burgess gets up and starts shouting at people around the pitch. They've just released the Town in 5, which shows sort of the longer celebrations of this, and he is bawling his teammates out.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know which of the centre backs it is who completely gambles on Hurst, and they're supposed to have a back three. He runs about 5 meters ahead of the rest of them. Hurst spins it round. He leaves half the pitch for.
There's that, but
off.
It's easy for Clark. Yeah, they shouldn't lose it in the centre of the pitch either. Clark, he shouldn't lose it there. But he is. He's having a right old go.
He went and shouted at the midfielders after he'd shouted at the other defenders first.
Yeah, and you can see why. Because I'd imagine we know from stuff Kieran McKenna said about Cameron Burgess in his time here, how he was a great sort of film room player, how he would be very on top of that. And I'm sure he spent a lot of time this week trying to work with the analyst and manager about what Ipswich can do, how we can hurt them. And you've just given Leif Davis the freedom of the liberty to run into, and everyone knows if you give Leif Davis that much space, he's going to hurt you. And Burgess is the one who gets the black mark against his name, but it was just a bad goal for Swansea.
I just watched it again. It's Cabango who's a good player. Not only does he go right tight on Hurst, he actually dives in. He's literally on the deck 40 yards from goal.
Good play from Hurst, though.
Yeah, it is good from Hurst. And when we talk about, I don't know which one of you guys that mentioned it when the cross went, across. And no, it was you, Dave. He says, someone should have gambled on near post. And I'm kind of like, is that Hurst's job? But sometimes he's in a different part of the pitch because of the role he's doing, Dave.
Yep. No, absolutely. No, yes. Yep.
Right. Whose turn is it on the next Cameron Burgess own goal? I think you're up, Joe, aren't you?
No, it's the third goal now, isn't it? Have we done this? The third goal?
Yeah, third goal now.
That's on first. Let me do the subs. First, because McKenna is going to make the Parachute FC move of putting Philogene, AZÓN, and Kayust in for McAteer, Hurst, and Taylor. This is 5 minutes before the goal, Joe.
Yeah, Jack Clark goes across to the right, and Philogene plays on the left here. But this is
that
a
won't
corner.
Please the Sunderland fans, will it? We'll get comments on that.
Yeah, and Rob just mentioned it there, but the big moment before this at 2-1 was this Christian Waltz save.
Rob, do you want to write my format for me? Because I'm struggling today, apparently, aren't I?
just quickly, this is a really idiotic challenge from Davis, by the way. And I was ranting, watching the game. I was absolutely ranting at this. I said, if we can concede from this, that is crap.
Anyway. I remember last time he's played Swansea there, Davis had a tough afternoon against Ronald down that side, didn't he, as well? And just kept fouling him and almost got to the stage where he probably had 2 or 3 yellow card offences and didn't get booked till the last one. So that's that area of the pitch in front of the Ipswich fans when he's on the left there is not his favourite place to defend, it seems. But he gets a free kick away and they whip it in, and it's Cabango gets across and it's a brilliant header and it's going into net, and Walton just sort of throws himself at every inch of his 6'6" frame. As it just gets it's a strong finger. It's not even a hand to it. It's like a strong finger to it. And just swipes at it. Just gets enough on the ball for it to hit the inside of the post, come all the way back across the goal line. And AZÓN Matasi was the sort of first to react and manages just to get there, just to get a little poke to it. Otherwise, it's a goal. And I think it's one of those ones where you're talking, we've worked so hard, scored 2 goals, and we've straight away just given them that goal back. I think that would have been a real mental blow to us. So that was sort of a real big moment. And if you remember the sort of League One promotion season, Christian Walton did this a few times for us, sort of penalty saves. One at Derby, one at Bolton he saved, one at Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge as well. Real big saves at big moments that really kept us in these games, and he's delivered again in that regard.
I think to be fair, sliding doors moment there, Dave. Let me just double check. It's Cameron Burgess who's going to stick it in the net if Matasiwa doesn't get across.
Yeah, so look, I don't think we do a lot. To be fair, I don't think we do a lot wrong. So other than Davis' foul, which is such a cheap foul, but it's a great, hell of a delivery, brilliant delivery, good header, and as Joe said, just an absolute worldie of a save.
And you get a bit of luck with it, and you need it, don't you? As well?
You get a bit of luck, and for once we
bounces.
But we're alive. Matasiwa reacts first and gets it away. But yeah, that was the pivotal moment.
Right, you can do the goal now.
Who's it? Me or Joe?
It's Joe, isn't it?
It's Joe.
Corner comes in. O'Shea wins the first header, as he did numerous times. I thought he was really, really good in the attacking box. It was his chance there. He had another one, and this one, it's a really, really good header. The keeper gets across and sort of claws it almost at the top corner, but it goes up in the air, and AZÓN, the shark, is first to react, gets up, gets really high, and just can't miss, and doesn't do so. First goal for him. You can see the players' reaction. Everyone's delighted for him because he's really sort of worked his nuts off for us this season so far and been really unlucky in front of goal. He's hit the post twice, including the Norwich game where it sort of hits the post and runs back for Jack Clark to score the final goal in that win. He misses a really, really good chance on Tuesday night against Watford, and also then forces a really good save from the keeper straight after it as well in what would have been a game-winning moment for him. So, yeah, like I said, we've been talking about it in the Telegram group, and I've mentioned a couple of times, sort of like, you don't want to put that name on it, but sort of Jonas Axeldal, that sort of guy who came in and always came on a sub, worked really hard, and nearly in his first few games just looked like he was going to score a few goals for us, and then never did. And then the sort of confidence just totally fell out of him, out of his games, and he just never ever scored for us. He must have made like 25 sub appearances for a team that came third in the league, scoring about 100 goals, and didn't manage to get one of them. And it's really great that he has scored, because I still stand by when we talk about the sort of number nines in our squad. It's probably an area where we haven't invested like we have in all the other areas. If you look on the right wing, we spent 30 million on Valet and McAteer. On the left wing, spent 30 odd million on Philogene and Jack Clark. In the 10, you got Akpom, who's a very expensive loan, Championship Golden Boot winner, Smolix and Nunes there, big money. But up front, it's only George Hurst who has done well for us, was $1.5 million. And then AZÓN as a loan, who'd never played a top division game, still hasn't played a top division game in his career. So it's an area where on paper,
you are aware the Championship is the best league in the world, Joe?
I am, but it's not the top division still. So it might be the best, but it's not the top division. And you just need him to start scoring some goals, because he's had the chances, and he's when you look at all the numbers, the saves, he hasn't really done a huge amount wrong, other than that miss on Tuesday where he puts that wide where he should score. He's been very unlucky. He's hit the post. He's forced good saves. He's just not quite got there. And for him to get that goal, and hopefully it becomes the first of many for him, and he's sort of one of those ones, because he looks a popular guy. He's a real good sub. But the way he plays is really, it's exciting, isn't it, when he comes on? You know he's going to create something, and hopefully he can start sticking them in the net on a more regular basis now.
Pablo Mark II. I tell you what, it's really good movement for the goal, actually.
I was just going to say to you, I mean, Key has an absolute nightmare, but if you're AZÓN's height and the ball drops into that group,
really good movement.
Make the run to the far post, and
he gambles.
Key kind of, go, oh, it's going in that big crowd. I'll just stop in the middle of the box. And
it's great. It's great movement from him. No, really
how many goals do you get if you're a striker who's just on the move in the box? You're not going to challenge for the first ball, but just stay on the move, Dave.
The great one, all the great strikers. I had a really great interview, a few months about, I think, with Lineker. I just found something about Lineker on YouTube, and that's all he used to say. Strikers, you just gamble, and nine times out of 10 you'll make the run. Nothing will come of it. But every once in a while,
when you look at AZÓN, sort of his YouTube video for his goals, it's called Zaragoza. Honestly, I reckon a third of the goals are within 1 yard of the goal. Good. Another third are within the 6 yard box, and then nearly everything else is between the penalty box and the 6 yard box. He is not a long range finisher, even though he's sort of had a couple of decent efforts from there. He is very much a goal scorer from.
But Joe, in our system, what you've just described is also very much a substitute.
Yeah, and if he had he could have 3 or 4 goals already by this stage from his role. So hopefully he now sort of hits that bit of form and can get a dozen goals for us this season.
Yeah. Right, sorry, I was getting confused with the order of Cameron Burgess' own goals, and I don't want to mock Cameron Burgess. He's a member of our most glorious run of the last couple of decades, but here comes another one, Dave, on 81 to rub salt into the wound.
This is another quite good move. I mean, I think probably Swansea, though the game's up and they're perhaps a little bit out on their feet, but this is another quite a good move, really. I think the ball's played, we win, the ball's played long from Swansea. I think Davis might win the header, and it falls to Philogene, drops his shoulder, beats his man as he does. This is really good play from AZÓN. He passes inside AZÓN again, who kind of takes it under, but sort of changes his feet. And Kayusta's made like the Davis overlapping run, and sort of changes his feet. So controls it with his right, but plays it inside the fullback. And I think Kabanga, left-footed for Kayust, who's in that Davis position on the left, gets up to the edge of the box. But looking for that, corridor of uncertainty, that ball across to, I think it's Nunes on the sort of far post. Look, Burgess he's got to try and slide in chat. It's just unfortunate. If you're a bit critical
with his left foot,
exactly. If you're a bit critical, he goes with it with the wrong foot. If he goes with it right foot, it's going to go that way, surely, isn't it? But the pace on the ball, it's a good ball from Hughes. A lot of pace on it.
Very good cross, yeah.
And he just slides it in. The keeper's got no chance. That is certainly one. I think Nunes is definitely onside there. If Burgess doesn't make the intervention, Nunes has just got a tap in there, hasn't he? That was a really good move. I think, good from Philogene, great from AZÓN, good from Houston. Yeah, no more than we do on our first half display. A 3-goal margin is probably no more than we deserve, probably.
Joe, that absolutely stinks of a goal that goes to a side going from 3-1 to 4-1 up in a game, doesn't it? They're all over the show, shape-wise, aren't they, Swansea? You got Kayust and Galbraith going down that side, and there's a massive gap. They're both central midfielders, by the way, and the chasing your tail kind of nature of it for Swansea. But it's good that they've gone ahead in these 2 away games and gone from a goal up to 2 goals up to 3 goals up.
Yeah, and this is the problem. If you don't score when you get these chances, you then end up in a bit of trouble, don't you? And it's similar to, if you think like back to the West Brom game a few weeks ago, we went 1-0 up relatively late, and then we had 2 sort of gilt-edged opportunities after that, which we don't take, and then they have the ball in our net. Yeah, the whistle's gone for a foul or offside or whatever that was disallowed for. And when the games turn into these sort of games of like tennis, effectively, just total end to end, that you've got to take your chances and put the games to bed in these, because otherwise,
especially in the year of the long throw, Joe. Yeah.
So if it was 3-1 and they get a goal back, rather than we score in the 80-odd minute, they score that goal. Then all of a sudden you've got an awful last 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes to come from that with injury time, don't you? So you've got to take your chances when they present themselves, and we've got enough quality. You've got enough players who have that quality to do so. And I say it was pretty poor, this from Burgess, wasn't it? I know sort of he's been a great servant to us, and I'd been happy to win 3-1 and him not score another own goal, or even 2-1 and him score none, because you don't really want to see it, but it's pretty poor, really. I know you're stretching, you're at full stretch, but ultimately, if all you're going to do is smash the ball in the goal with your attempt to clear it, you might as well leave it and see if Nunes can put it in or miss, don't you?
Nunes definitely would have scored.
Well, he might have just hit it straight to keep. But if you know what I mean, if all you're going to do is stick it in the back of the net, you might as well leave it. There's no benefit to doing it. I know it's easy to say.
Yeah. Let's have some summings up from you first, Dave. Having listened to both your analysis, I'm getting the vibe that this was actually a better performance than the one at QPR. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly more dominant. Like I said, after QPR equalised, on 20, 21 minutes, they were probably dominant for next 10, 15 minutes in that game. Swansea didn't have any of that, really. Like I said, we should have been 2 up. McAteer misses a chance just before they scored. Probably should have been 2 up then. They really didn't. We sort of got on the front foot pretty much straight away after that and just saw it out really, really comfortable. Someone said, I think it was Colin or someone in the chat said, Nunes had a hell of a shot, real great technique, which he tried to bend it in the top corner from about 25 yards and just hit the outside angle of the net in the stanchion sort of thing. It was just comfortable yesterday. Brilliant from the
central. We're going to see this type of thing at home. I know we beat Sheffield United 5, didn't we? But they were.
I think the key at home is what it always comes back to: just get the early goal. You dominate at home, get the early goal. Score first, and you're off and running. And I think you're going to be fine. But no, really good performance yesterday. I mean, individuals. Taylor was superb. I thought probably his best game in a Town shirt. I'd say
he's had a good week, hasn't he?
I'd probably say it's his best in a Town shirt. Joe, would you say that?
Especially when you look at the last 3 games that he started, his last 3 starts, West Brom, QPR, and this.
Growing.
He signed this contract a few weeks ago, didn't he? And everyone's a bit like, well, why is he on that contract? He's like a 4th choice central midfielder. He's not he's not really been the player we wanted him to be.
We thought that he was
almost
they were
about
just
protecting
boosting
asset value,
boosting the value.
like
Yeah,
and we're now, if you'd have said there's a £15 million central midfielder on the pitch, you'd probably say it's Jack Taylor, wouldn't you? He's been that good over the last few games, and maybe
it's a good fit. It looks more like that Morsey Luongo. Dare I say it? It looks a bit more like that Morsey Luongo combo. He's just a lot more. Look,
his physicality is off the scale, isn't it?
His physicality,
his running power, and sort of getting around the pitch.
We love Karius. We all love Karius. Technically, lovely footballer, not a great footballer, but Clark's more disciplined. I think in there, I think it's probably a good word. I think
you mean Taylor.
I'm sorry, Taylor. Sorry, yeah, Taylor. It was a lot of good performances there yesterday, and I think you've got to give a bit to Magatir as well. Magatir is probably his best game so far, Joe. I'd say.
I think you can start to see why we've signed him. The sort of
physicality again,
physicality getting up and down.
Yeah,
maybe his sort of final ball isn't quite there, but he does find himself getting on the end of things, doesn't he? Whether it's shots, crosses. Yeah. And he's probably one of those. But Burns used to frustrate like this at times for us, didn't he? He'd get in and not make the best of it. He'd keep getting there, wouldn't he? And that game intelligence, that pace, that power, that physicality, that just to keep going and keep making those runs and keep getting there. And Wes Burns has been such a fantastic player for us. And you've got to hope that if Casey McAteer can be that good for us, then he's going to be a good signing, whether it's 12 million or 100,000 or whatever Wes Burns was.
I was watching him with the Swansea TV commentary, and they said it's just a scary squad. When he looked at coming off the bench again yesterday, they just said, "Oh, here we go." Look who's coming on, Philogene.
No, we've been on the receiving end of it.
Of course,
my
God, of course, yeah.
Many times. Joe, just quickly, just to round this up because I'm going long as I always bloody do. Well, I just wanted to say first of all, when you've got Taylor, Nunes, and Clark starting, you ain't got some good long range shooters in the pitch. You almost go from 0 to 3 of them when those are I suppose Philogene, I suppose, if he's in there. But Joe, are we getting closer? I know we'd reached a position of complete trust for Professor McKenna in 3 game weeks, changing this, that, and the other. And when you're not winning games, people are asking questions. Are we getting more back towards that he's in his groove as well with the changes and managing the squad?
Yeah, and he's also the one that gets judged sort of retrospectively on whatever he does, because ahead of the Watford game, all of my messages would come through. We've only made 2 changes, we've done really well, and then we lose. And it's bloody hell, what's going on here? Yesterday, 6 changes. I don't like this team. Why have we done this? Why have we done that? And then we run all over him, and it's like, what a performance! And then there's no actually I was wrong saying there was too many changes. But people don't look back at themselves, do they? No. So he's going to be judged on what he achieves, what results he gets, not even on performances, purely on results. And I say we'll go into it. There's after the international breaks, 12 games in 42 days. That is, and obviously we've only got one more than everyone else because we've got the Blackburn one in there. But even without that, that's every other.
Has that been rescheduled? Has it?
Yeah, December 2nd. Yeah.
When did that happen?
A couple of weeks back.
A few weeks back.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
I don't know, but 12 games in 42 days, and this squad is going to get through that. I watched Watford Bristol City on Friday night, and Bristol City did really well there. But you look at the bench, and their squad is decimated.
Oh, mate, they've got injuries. 10 injuries. Yeah,
and this is the period of the season where our strength of squad, what these rotations that has frustrated people so far, this is where this is going to come into its. If everything goes as we want it to go this season, that's how this period of the season up until the 4th of January, up to that FA Cup third round weekend. This is the period of the season which potentially should get us into that.
John Mousinho,
into that top 2.
In his post-match, Joe said exactly that yesterday. This is where you kind of can decide where you're going to be in the season in this big kind of run of games. Anyway, brilliant stuff. We can talk more about Swansea 1, Ipswich 4 in the questions segment. But let's move to this word from our wonderful show partners over at Atwells.
Blue Monday is brought to you in partnership with Atwells Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for property and business law. Whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or just need legal guidance, our dedicated team has got you covered. Trust our award-winning customer service team to handle your legal matters with care and expertise. Find out more at atwells.com or visit us at our offices in Ipswich, Colchester, London, and our new location in Woodbridge.
Thank you to wonderful people at Atwells, and fear not, the international break need not be boring. If you sign up for Blue Monday top tier, you can do that right here by hitting the membership options on YouTube. The guys will be back for Beyond the Scoreline tomorrow, looking at some of the stats and the data from the Swansea game. They'll give you a better answer than me in terms of the comparisons of the QPR game as well. There'll be a Telegram round table as well. You can hear from some of the members there. Blogs throughout, written stuff. We're going to do a flagship looking ahead at the next month, although the three of us may not be on that one. And I think Joe and Craig are going to be looking at some stat stuff as well. And there you go. We have very, very kindly just gifted 5 Blue Monday top tier memberships right here, right now. In the words of Fat Boy Slim and every football stadium in England. Imagine the royalties he's made from that. One of my mates did front of house for Fat Boy Slim on Friday night, and he was supposed to be working for me, and I gave him the night off. That was kind of me, wasn't it? Let's move on to game week 15, round 15 in the championship. And yeah, lots went on and off the pitch in this one. Watford 1, Bristol City 1, as Joe's already mentioned. Blackburn 1, Derby 2, 5 in a row for Derby, 6 goals in 4, Carlton. Morris, Hull, with their third 3-2 win of the season already. Their most common winning scoreline is 3-2, incredibly. They beat Pompey, who are struggling. Millwall 1, Preston 1, still both in the top 6. Couple of right howlers in that game. Borough 2, Birmingham 1 is fascinating for many, many reasons in terms of potential opponents and rivals for us as the season goes on. Norwich 1, Leicester 2. Can't find anything to talk about in that one. Sheffield United 0, QPR 0. Sheffield United still stinking it out. Will Still is gone. Southampton are winning. Southampton 3-1, winners over Sheffield Wednesday. Wow. Stoke 0, Coventry 1. Huge game. First against
great goal.
What a goal.
Coventry
Holy
getting the win
moly.
in that one. West Brom 2, Oxford 1. I think Dave nailed. Dave has a habit of doing this every now and then where he just cuts through all the nonsense and nails the team. His description to me, which I can't say on camera, about West Brom was completely right, given what they've done over the next 3 weeks. Wrexham 1, Charlton 1.
That was 1-0 to Wrexham, that was, I think.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, Windass with the penalty. Joe, talk to me about Coventry's win at Stoke. That felt like a big one, didn't it?
Yeah, and it looks like I only watched it briefly, but it sort of was on when I was getting ready, watching a highlight show this morning, and the goal was sensational. It was a late goal, wasn't it? 86.
The manner of the win as well.
Yeah,
Mark
that really
Hughes
sort of gritty 1-0 away win, which. And there was a little bit of talk about Coventry in the Telegram group about do we need to be doing what Coventry doing and watching them and seeing what they're doing. It's like, well, no. If Coventry keep doing what they're doing, they're going to get promoted this season, and we're going to be fighting it out for the second promotion spot. They're too far ahead. They're too far gone, and if they keep doing it, they keep getting the wins like this, or the times where they outscore teams. They're just a very, very good side. Look well balanced, but stuff can go wrong with these teams. So I wouldn't say they're gone and can't be caught, but ultimately, if they carry on as they are, no one's going to catch them.
Joe, 2.11 points per game from the last
4 points.
35 games.
Who's irreplaceable? Who would you say would be take one player out would be irreplaceable for them at this moment in time?
People would have said Jack Vidoni 10 games ago.
Yeah, Grimes
Grimes
probably. Yeah, just in terms of presence and making it tick and sitting in front of the back four. Although Sky put a good stat up, Milan Van Evik with the long throw-ins is creating about as many chances as Imran Loser pinging the ball around in number 10 position. So
Kessler Hayden knows back up for him, who's also very, very good.
I like him for Plymouth, funny.
Yeah,
they're Plymouth, a really good player.
They are well set. Dave, talk to me about Middlesbrough and Birmingham, because I've been getting a bit of stick for some. Imagine that, me getting stick on the internet from Middlesbrough fans saying they're trending down a little bit, and it's a fine kind of reasonable point. They won 5 out of their first 6, so pretty much it's like this idiotic manager of the month curse thing. Anything is a trend down from a period of excessively high overperformance, but they beat Birmingham 2-1, but they're going to need a new manager as well. So I don't know where you're landing on all of this.
Yeah, it looks like he did. Has he gone? Has he actually gone now or not? Has he gone yet? He has. Yeah.
Right, but mate, Even if he doesn't take the Wolves job, there ain't no way back in there in Middlesbrough, put it that way.
No, there wasn't. And as soon as he was that link, he's got the tie, he's got the pull with Wolves, hasn't he? However, they're in deep mire, aren't they? Goodness me. He'll be a hero if he gets them out of that. So, yeah, it was a good win. I mean, Birmingham have been on a reasonable run, so that's a really good.
They won 4-0 twice this week.
Absolutely, Abs. That's a really good win for Borough, and our old friend Hayden Hackney scored the winner, albeit well, quite clever actually winner.
Yeah, it's a good goal actually. Yeah.
So yeah, be interesting to see who gets a point in there. But as we all said last week, with Pereira going from Wolves, and still the dominoes are now really, really starting to fall. And obviously they fell a little bit further last night up the road as well, didn't they?
They did. Before Joe and Dave talk about Norwich, get your questions in for the next segment. We'll ask as many as we possibly can. Joe, shame, Liam Manning, good fella, good football bloke, but you can't lose 8 home games in a row and not get sacked. And where does it leave Norwich? No, apart from in the relegation
they're
zone?
in big trouble. They are in big trouble because when you look how many points they've got, and there's a gap even to like Oxford in 21st. I think they're very lucky that Sheffield Wednesday are effectively got one of the relegation places sewn up, because if there was a normal division this year and you had 3 to get from, you've only got to find 2 teams you better than, because Sheffield Wednesday aren't going to be able to overturn that 12 points there. But they're in trouble. But it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. This international break's going to be very interesting, because you've obviously got Southampton needing a new manager, Norwich needing a new manager, Middlesbrough needing a new manager. Well, that's 3 good championship clubs, good pedigree championship clubs.
Well, one's second and one's got parachute payments, and neither of those are Norwich.
And then, which means that some of their highs may come internally. Sorry, not internally, inside the championship. I think Alex Neil's been linked with
Borough.
At least, Borough. And there's talk of, in the papers today, the Sun was saying about how West Brom might want to try and make a move for Alex Neil, because he lives quite close to the West Brom training ground, so they might push Mason out just because they don't want to lose Neil in case Neil goes to Middlesbrough, and then all of a sudden that's one off the market. So I think these 3 jobs could lead to a Swansea job coming available, a West Brom job coming available, and all of a sudden it's going to be a frantic few weeks trying to find someone. And who are the guys going for these jobs? Well, I guess Gary O'Neill, Michael Carrick, Will Steele might be wanting to go back in somewhere straight away. It's going to be an interesting few weeks, and then you've got the Celtic job available. I think there was talk today that Middlesbrough like Barry Murphy in another paper, but Celtic like him as well, so they might try and go for him. So there's going to be a hell of a lot going on.
Steve Evans is out of work.
He's always out of work, sadly, now for him.
To be fair to Steve, have you seen how much weight he's lost? He looks incredible.
I haven't seen it.
He looks proper svelte. I was going to mention Orient aren't doing that well, but I'm sure Richie Wellens must get linked with some
Richie Wellens
jobs at some point.
Will someone ever take a chance on Dave Challoner? Always doing really well at Stockport.
And good luck getting him out of there.
Yeah, but it's just like I say, it wouldn't surprise you if there's at least one other job coming available, whether that's Swansea or West Brom.
And this is the graveyard, Joe. November international break.
But it wouldn't surprise you if one of the Middlesbrough or Southampton look inside the championship for a manager, and then one more becomes available that way. You could end up seriously with Swansea, West Brom, and Millwall all with vacancies in the next couple of weeks. You could end up with a quarter of the championship clubs appointing a new manager within the next couple of weeks.
Well, and the interesting point with that, Joe, is that we had, I think it was 11 clubs had new managers starting in round 1. What that does serve to do is make the first 2 international breaks quieter, because you don't get, people who've been in there from the previous
season under pressure.
Starting the season under pressure, exactly. Just quickly, Joe, on your point on the Norwich points. So if it was 46 needed to survive, 1 point per game, it's already at 1.2 points per game that Norwich need to put on. So with a bit of margin for error, if that goes to 1.3, 1.4, you have to be playing pretty well just to get to
football almost,
just to get to 48 or what. And it's been quite a high number. And if you do get Sheffield United go,
Sheffield United is crazy, because Wilder went in there and everyone thought, well, he's going to turn this round pretty quickly. We know what Chris Wilder's like, but Sheffield United look like they've got 3 manager season written all over them at the moment, don't they?
He's got 10 points from 10 games, so they're just on
It's
survival.
Something
survival
inherently
form, but with a horrifically bad start. David.
Something inherently wrong there. I mean, you look at the manager. You say Norwich might have a go. Look in the Championship. Alex Neil, what a great Championship manager! He'd be ideal, but you just can't see Norwich paying the compensation, can you? I wouldn't.
Well, and going back for him as well.
Be going back, wouldn't he?
Yeah. No,
exactly. Neil is he didn't do his reputation any good jumping to Stoke. Did he at that point? So I don't know.
A few weeks back, they were saying that Norwich would be going for Mark Robbins, but now
they do. He'd get him out of trouble pretty damn
be a great
quick,
job,
wouldn't he? Yeah.
But I think the way Stoke have done this year to go from Stoke to Norwich would be ridiculous at this stage.
I think my mate Russ might be in discussions on the podcast again at
Southampton,
some point soon. Look closer to home, mate.
Inside knowledge.
Right now.
Well, he wanted an interview at Norwich. He wanted an interview at Norwich in the summer, and they wouldn't speak to him. So I guess.
Yeah, but mate, the sporting director there is scrambling now. I tell you. So
the sporting director sacking Manning was like a turkey voting for Christmas almost, wasn't it? I mean, blimey,
totally.
I haven't seen how they've done. I haven't seen how they've done from the start of the appointment, but basically Jack Wilshere left because Jack Wilshere was really his first managerial appointment. They put him in there as Forup's
He had a great win at Stockport for Luton yesterday.
They put him in there as Forup's successor. Forup got the boot, and then they didn't want Jack Wilshere. So that's almost 3 managerial appointments he's got wrong there. Wilshere, Forup and Manning. And Wilshere, I haven't seen how he's done at Luton fully, but yeah, 3-0 at Stockport yesterday. That's a hell of a result.
You think Leicester don't get that late winner and they hang on? Manning's still there today?
And Cifuentes would be threat level high. And what, like Joe says, what happened if Mason hadn't had the comeback at West Brom? So many are in crisis. Right, guys, I've completely stitched you up here. You've got basically about 10 minutes to let us know in the chat. Do you want us to go a little bit longer tonight on some questions? You've got 20 seconds to answer each of these many questions here. Although actually, we don't have to preview any games, do we? Paul. Dave, quickly, what now for Smodics when he's fit again?
I think bench, probably. I can't see him. It seems quite settled there. I think we all like Nunes in that 10. And again, look, he'll get some game time because of rotation. But I don't see him as a nailed. Certainly don't see him fit as a nailed-on starter. No.
Funny, you got this one, Joe. Anyone missing VAR, Joe? You bloody love VAR, don't you?
No, it's nice. It's nice when there's a goal and you know it's a goal and you can just either celebrate or vent.
Tractor driver, let's talk Jack Taylor. Absolutely a mess. I think we've done that, haven't we? I think you guys did a good bit on Jack Taylor. Michael, are we moving away from a number 10 wide players that cut inside and a third midfielder, Nunes, playing higher up the pitch? By the way, Dave, have you seen any of Portsmouth recently and the way they play Jacob Murphy? It's like bloody John Barnes. It's brilliant. Stick him on the wing, cross it in the box. Love to see it. Is it Josh Murphy or Jacob Murphy? I can't remember which one. Which one is it, Joe? Josh, sorry, that's a Jacob.
So direct, isn't he? Absolutely baller.
Anyway, sorry. Answer Michael's question rather than mine.
What was the question? Are we moving back away from
the one I read out?
I think we probably are, aren't we? Yes, I think we probably are. I think Nunes just fits between the two there. And I thought, again, very good.
Davis inside a bit.
I think so, and I think he kind of gets the best out of Hurst as well. I think so. And then look, and helped immeasurably by how good Taylor's been in these last. Obviously, didn't start Tuesday, but QPR on Saturday helped immeasurably by that.
I'll answer this, and I'm going to disrespect one of England's greatest players of all time.
Ooh.
Who would you like to see appointed as the latest new manager up the road? I think I speak on behalf of everyone and say Mr. Wayne Rooney.
Get Steve Bruce in there as next Norwich manager.
I like Bruce. He might actually do something reasonable, whereas Wazza, I'm not so sure they'd be staying up then. Joe, when Palmer is fit, who starts?
Big question, and I just think you just have to stick with Walter now. I think he's done well in the few games he's played. I thought he was a little bit at fault for the QPR goal, but I think he sort of moves the ball a little bit quicker from the back. But I just don't see how you can drop him after what's happened. But Kieran McKenna will pick a goalkeeper and stay with them. But yeah, I'd probably stick with Walton.
Oh, this is a great question, Dave. How many points Well, it's a bit like the double header against Leicester in the second of the two promotions. How many points will we get from the two Coventry games next month? You just can't lose either of them, can you, Dave?
I'm going 4. I know Joe's going to go 6. Don't even need to get Joe. I'm going 4. There you go.
Well, let me just do a little bit of research and see what Coventry are doing. So it's the start of a 3-game week, and we've got them at home. The second one, oh God, it's in that horrible Christmas purgatory.
29th, isn't it?
6 p.m. on the 29th of
on a
December.
Monday night.
And that's a work day. It's not a bank holiday. That's just a normal work day. I know a lot of
Mate, I tell you what, in
New
TV
Year.
land, that will do a good number.
Do you see in the next round of fixtures, the midweek, 25th, it's Middlesbrough Coventry.
Ooh, love that.
We're Hull away that night, and they're away at.
To be fair, Cov have got Charlton at the end of that 3-game week. You know, no one likes playing bloody Charlton, do they? Just quickly, do you want to double up on that question, Joe? Are they far enough to treat as far enough apart to treat as a mini little playoff thing?
No, there's too many games in between them, isn't there? I know they're both in December, but I think you've got like 4 or 5 in between them, haven't you?
Toffee Crisp. Speculation, but how many points required for second this season? I think 90. Oh, I think it'd be lower than that, Joe.
I reckon 85 will be enough. But I think if we do 2 a game from here, it would be 87. I think that would comfortably do it.
I literally wrote this down for some work this morning. I'm going to try and remember the numbers. So Coventry got 34. Leicester had 39 at this point, but they won 13 of the first 15. Leeds had 29. Burnley only had 26. But remember, that was the weird World Cup season where there was like a 3-game week 6 times already by this point to squish up everything so we could have a month off for the World Cup in wherever that was.
Coventry, I think Coventry are the only team who are above 2 points a game, aren't they? Just about, I think.
Borough could be there next if they win the next game. Yeah, they'll be at 32 from 16. But yeah, 16. You're right. You're right, Dave. Whose question is it? Dave, do we need to find a new role for Akpom? Hasn't worked for him in the 10 thus far.
Honestly, the more I see of Akpom, shoot me down, but he just looks like a 9 to me. He really does, you know. I think he's strong. His first touch is good. I think he's just. I just don't see him playing in our system where he's been playing. But to me, he looks like a 9. But that's just not going to happen. So again, it's going to be that rotation, and he's going to be a squad option, isn't he?
Dave, what do you do if you're Kieran McKenna and you've got this superlative football brain, and you already know that it doesn't quite fit or doesn't quite work? What do you do?
But he's just very, very good at that, isn't he? He seems very, very good at not placating these players, but keeping these players all on side. But to me, it's just, I don't know what Joe thinks about it. It just looks obvious to me. It just looks like an out and out 9. He's strong. I think his hold up play, his first touch is good. No, he's not going to take the shirt from Hurst, quite rightly so at the moment. But I'd say if anything, God forbid, because we want everyone to be fit. If Hurst is injured or suspended or what, they could going. He's the closest in that squad we've got, I think, like for Hurst at this moment in time. That's where honestly, I just see it.
Should we go on that one, Joe?
I think he'd have to be, wouldn't he? Because we saw Smodic try and play that role last year. It just didn't suit him at all. He's too small for it, really, isn't it? Just as much as anything, being able to sort of play back to goal. I don't think Akpom gets in behind enough, does he? That's the problem, where we like our strikers to run those channels.
Well, that was what Archer did when he scored. He was the one running in behind, wasn't he? When he
from there, and he sort of is that second striker. But yeah, it hasn't really clicked with him. But I think he does enough each game. I see enough from him. I think, he's got something, don't you? But
technically good.
He's just doing that last little bit, isn't it?
Right, you got 3 more guys. You can do this. Joe, Tony. Why is it that Matasiwa doesn't get rotated, but Taylor is? Surely just play the both of them every game.
Well, we haven't got a backup for Matasiwa. He's playing a very unique role in the squad, and I think it's quite interesting. Kieran McKenna was talking this week about Matasiwa and saying that the plan for him was sort of Sam Maudsley him to rotate through that season and switch out and for him to take over long term, where we haven't got that. So effectively Taylor and Kajus, I don't think he just put Kajus on the bench every game. He's too good. He's too good to be that. And in certain games, especially home games, he gives you more than probably Taylor is able to do in home games, where Taylor gives you that solidity away. So there will be changes like that. But yeah, effectively, we just haven't got a backup to Matasiwa.
No. Who was it in the game where Matasiwa was suspended?
Oh, don't.
Had Nunes and Kudus against Charlton, though, weren't it?
Oh God! Okay, you've answered my next question. Then we'll say no more. Dave, based on results today, what are the priority positions that need reinforcements in the next transfer window? Do you think the transfer window might be a bit crazy, given what Joe said about the door open and the presence of the American money from Wrexham and Birmingham scaring all the parachute teams?
I mean, we've just spoken about, haven't we? Probably need another 9, don't we? As if he doesn't see Akpom there, we probably do need another 9.
Correct myself, Dave. I did a thing the other day with a Birmingham fan. Apparently, they are right on PRS limit, and they've got no massive saleable assets right now.
Yeah.
So I'm wrong about that, and I know it already. So
I think the priority would be getting in a 9, but we've spoken on here before. They're as rare as rock and horse. Who aren't they? You know, it's just something to get anyone of any stature, of any experience. It's just money, isn't it? Just big money. But that's at this moment in time, that's where you see it. I think probably elsewhere. Perhaps left back cover for maybe.
Do you want
Davis?
Do you want a left field suggestion? Maybe you can come in on this. Players that do well on loan often get redirected, and Lancashire at Oxford. Could he get redirected higher up the league in January, Joe?
It's a bit too high to come to us, isn't it? You're probably looking at guys who are someone like Alfie Devine or someone like Preston, players of that ilk. I'm not saying him and the fit of him, but players who are doing well for smaller budgeted teams.
I was thinking of a number 9, though.
At top 8. I can't say I've looked too much into.
Ivanovic's value's dropped. He's only scored twice this season.
And one of them was an open goal yesterday.
Right, last one. We can do this. Joe, where does Burns fit in when he's back? I think Glenn's lobbying for him to start a right back, yeah?
I think it's going to take him a little while to get up to fitness, but it's going to be very difficult for him because we're going to have Valley and Casey McAteer playing in that position. Ben Johnson's come on there a couple of times recently as well now. So I think just for Wes, the biggest thing is just getting up to speed and playing somewhere. It might not even be here in the second half of the season if everyone's fit, but I wouldn't write him off and say that. You don't know, someone might pick up an injury and be out for the season. That's happened to us enough times. So I wouldn't write
this time of year.
I wouldn't write Wes Burns off yet, but I would also just hope that by the end of the season, whether it's Ipswich or somewhere else, he is playing regular football because it's a real big injury to come back from.
Yeah.
Right. Let's sum this up then, Dave. We're at international break number 3. We are a game in hand. Although if you add our points per game on, we'd still be outside the playoffs. But we're a game in hand and 2 points off the playoffs. More importantly, Dave, we scored 20 points from the last 10 games, which is the point where Kieran McKenna said, okay, the season kind of starts now after the window. We just won away 4-1 twice. Are you happy with this, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone is slightly more happy than certainly they were, 3 games ago.
You don't sound very happy about the Watford game, Dave.
Well, no. Well, this is a game we should have won. You're not saying not very happy. You're just...
Mate, I'm winding you up. Don't rise to the bait.
You are. No. It's... no, I think everyone is. You can see the signs, can't you? You can see the signs. You can see the good old Harry Covenant Bonds, the partnerships. You can see the Matt C with Taylor partnerships. You can see it starting to work. What I particularly liked is the certainly these last three games is just how well Wally Egley's come on. He's going to be a special player for us. I really think he will be. You can see what he's all about, and it's just great that you can give a guy like that a rest yesterday and win comfortably. So that's been the most gratifying thing for me. Certainly, if you go back 4 games after that Charlton game on the back of the Middlesbrough defeat, everyone was, oh man, where's it going? Where's it all going wrong? So we're gradually, I think, finding our identity in this squad now, and I think pretty much he's getting to know what his best 11 is.
And Joe, are you happy? And supplement to the question, where would we need to be at Christmas time or FA Cup third round for you to think, okay, this is on, we're on for promotion?
Well, it's 12 games between now and then, isn't there? So you've got to be looking at least 24. You've got to be doing 2 per game over this period, and you'd hope that some other teams of their squads don't allow them to effectively rotate as much as we do. So I think if you
Preston, Hull, Millwall, you're talking about,
yeah. They're going to struggle to get through. And it's not just that the style, like Bristol City playing a real high-intensity pressing game. Well, you're not going to be able to do that for them 11 games in 42 days. It's just not going to. It's just not you're just not going to be able to do it. It's full stop. So if we play as we can, and you look at the next 12, if you can win 8 of them, draw a couple, lose a couple, then you're going to be second, aren't you, at that stage?
Yeah.
But it's
what's happened in the 2 games against Coventry,
saying it and doing it is the biggest thing, isn't it? And whilst we have got the squad, and I think we've got a squad now where everyone is probably up to speed, and we can go away to Swansea, make 6 changes, and run all over them like we did yesterday. We're probably going to be able to do that throughout the season now, aren't we? But you've still got to get the results. You've still got to get the wins. You've still got to have Christian Walton make that fantastic save at 2-1 to stay ahead in the game and not lose your heads. And then all of a sudden, a 7-point week turns into you haven't won for 2 games, you're back-to-back draws, and games you've been better than the other team and you haven't been able to win one. So it's such fine margins, and it can move so closely, and that sort of nuance, and it slips around between there. But yeah, we've got enough. We know we've got enough. The squad's fantastic, and it just needs to get on one of those runs now.
Yeah,
there we go. Hopefully, exciting times ahead as we come into Christmas and New Year. Thank you, everybody, for watching Blue Monday and Ipswich Town podcast. Don't forget to hit thumbs up and subscribe before you leave us. And loads of content through international break. Just make sure you sign up for Blue Monday top tier over here on YouTube, or you can join us over in the Telegram group as well. Have a lovely international break. We'll probably see you in a couple of weeks, ready for the mad run into Christmas. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It was Ipswich Town, a 4-1 win at Swansea. We'll see you next time.